Hello, everyone. Welcome back. God, you guys are excited, huh?
Welcome to
Split the Defense,
where Jordan Webster and Ted Evans talk about the NHL and all things hockey.
Split the Defense
Is broadcasted on Amherst Island Radio, 101.3 FM, and online at CJAI.CA.
Welcome to Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. Coming to you live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All episodes can be found after recording on our YouTube channel at Split the Defense. To find us online, just search for Split the Defense on most social apps or at STDP Hockey on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm Jordan Webster, alongside my co-host Ted Evans, who runs production for the show and creates all the music you hear during Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. And today, joining us will be Craig Pearce, who I refer to as CP, probably will a lot during this broadcast. He's a longtime friend of mine and a fellow diehard Leafs fan. But Craig wasn't always a Leafs fan. He started to tell me this story yesterday. And why don't you go ahead and tell us about that? Why weren't you a Leafs fan? Who did you cheer for?
Okay, well, thanks for having me, by the way. So I was a Canucks fan growing up. Everyone around me was a Leafs fan, but I had my mom's best friend's son played for the Canucks, and he was Brian Allen. So, do you guys remember Brian Allen?
I remember that name.
Yeah, yeah. No. So he was like a stay-at-home defenseman, right? So he played like 5 seasons with the Canucks, and then he got traded basically all around the league. But yeah, when I think I was like 7 or 8 or something, and yeah, and he was the only person that I knew in the NHL. Obviously, how many people do you know in the NHL? So.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's huge. Yeah, he played 721 games.
Right.
What about his junior career?
He played in Oshawa.
Okay.
Yeah, so he played in Oshawa for the OHL.
Yeah.
And then he played in Vancouver. Obviously, he was drafted 4th overall.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
like a Canucks. That's huge.
He's a bit of a freak, like athletically. He's 6'5" and like 2. Do you have it there, Jordan?
Yeah. Yeah, 6'5", 226.
226,
wow.
Yeah. And like I've heard stories about he used to train at RMC and he used to do squats standing on a medicine ball.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean,
what a beast.
Yeah, absolute beast. So 4th overall, played for Vancouver, went to Florida, then Carolina, then Anaheim, played for the Montreal Canadiens, and hung him up in 2014-15. Yeah. He played 5 games for the Canadiens in 2014-15.
Wow,
Nice.
yeah, I didn't even know that part, but
yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, I didn't really watch a lot of hockey like through high school. So, but yeah. So when I met my girlfriend Michelle, she's a Leafs fan, and that's really what kind of brought me over. So
The dark side.
yeah.
So
like,
yeah.
my dad's a Leafs fan, and that's like, basically all we talk about is
Nice.
Leafs, Jays, and so yeah. So now I don't miss much. I mean,
our dads are Montreal Canadiens fans.
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both
wow.
of our dads are Montreal Canadiens fans. I'm a Leafs fan, and he's I don't know what fan he is of. He likes something.
Jeez.
Don't know what it's like to have success. Must be
I was
nice.
gonna say, yeah, it must be nice cheering for a team that wins, but
Yeah, I don't know what it's like, all this pain you guys talk about.
Yeah. Speaking of pain, we have a picture.
Yes, we do. We
And
do
this
indeed.
picture is
brings
pain.
back
It
memories.
is. It's everything that you don't want to see as the fan of the team in the blue, and it's everything that you do want to see as a fan of the team in the white.
Look at
That is
that.
emotion.
Right?
Pure emotion.
I can honestly picture
That's tough.
myself when that moment happened. It wasn't a pleasant sight, I'll tell you.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think I was around the TV at that point. I was already gone. I had already given up. Once it happened, I just walked away and didn't watch a second of TV after that. I saw that after in the broadcast. There was a slew of emotions running through me at that point. Just
I was getting
up.
texts. I remember that.
Yeah, I think all the group chats were going off.
Yeah.
So, New Leaf, Ryan Reeves, had some time with the media during the charity golf tournament, and he had this to say when he was asked what he brings and if anyone will be yelling in goaltenders' faces when he's around.
It's not going to be a quiet room anymore, I'll tell you that much. I think, I've been around for a while. I like to help out the young guys a lot. Just a lot of energy, practice, games, whatever it is. I'm an energy guy.
Speaking of the grit aspect, I don't know if you saw that picture at the end of last year. Radko Gudas standing over Joseph Wall and yelling in his face, not to point out that particular incident, but less of that, I'm sure, is what you want to bring to it.
Well, I hope he tries that. Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be fun. I doubt there's going to be any of that here.
Love that.
Ryan Reeves makes me smile.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
We need more of that in this locker room. This piss and vinegar, as Mitch called it today or yesterday in the media press. Oh my fucking God, it was amazing.
I heard some people saying that, like, well, what, were you going to jump over the boards and, get suspended for the next season? Because, like, the game was over. You weren't on the ice. But, it's more about, like, it's bigger than that,
Yeah.
I think, he's going to bring more team toughness, I think. Like,
yeah, but dude, he might have.
Okay, yeah. You think? Do you actually think so?
I don't know. How invested is he? Like, I don't know.
We'll
It's Ryan Reeves. It's his, like, there's heavies, okay? Like, there's guys in the league that are here to fight. And then there's Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, but, like, do you remember David Clarkson?
Vaguely. He only played a handful of games, and then he was on Robida Island. Yeah,
because in preseason he jumped over the boards and fought whoever was attacking Phil Kessel at the time, and he got suspended for like 15 games. It was basically the end of his career.
Yeah, but we only want Ryan Reeves for the playoffs. Really, like, it's great to have him during the season, but 15 games of early season hockey next year, I'll take it. Go punch him in the face. Like, I'd take it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, like, I think he's going to invest himself. He's here for 3 years. He didn't sign a 1-year deal like the other guys.
Yeah.
Right? He signed for 3. And he has a reason why he chose Toronto. He said it himself.
Yeah.
Chance to win a cup. So I came here. Look at this team from last year. The last couple of seasons, what they do in the regular season, it's only a matter of time. I just want to be here for when it happens.
Yeah. I just want to be here for when it happens. Yeah, it's inevitable. Things are coming. He knows he's going to stick around for a couple years. He wants to give it. I don't know. Obviously, it'd be stupid to do, and you're right. But it is. Your point earlier was right. It's just the Ryan Reeves factor that I don't think that anybody be getting pushed around. Well, here's a better example, though. Forget about that. Let's take a step back. When Matthew Nyes got absolutely bulldogged and got his head smashed to the ground by Sam Bennett, and nothing happened. Do you think that stuff's going to happen again? Do you think that shit's going to roll next year? I don't think so.
No.
I think Ryan Reeves is for the 82 games, and all season long, no one messes with the Leafs, and I don't think it really changes. Like when you think of tough teams, you don't necessarily think of what's in their lineup that night, right? So I think, all season long, he's going to protect everyone. I don't really know if when it's playoff time, if he'll be on the ice, but
I think he will. You need a fourth line, right? I think he will. Depending on who they're playing too, right? He probably won't play every game. They probably will continue with a rotating thing. They have a few young guys, but I think it's going to be more of him making everybody a few inches taller. right? Like,
Yeah.
he's not Wayne Simmons. Wayne Simmons was like a hired gun. We thought Wayne Simmons was going to be Ryan Reeves, and we thought Wayne Simmons was going to get all the guys, group them together, and make them into tougher, snottier guys. But Wayne Simmons didn't. He didn't really at all. He just went out there and did all the work for them, right? We just saw him go out there and buzz around on the fourth line and hit people and cause fights, and then when the first, second, and third lines were on there, it was like Wayne Simmons wasn't on the team. I think Ryan Reeves is going to change the culture. And the whole, he's a loud guy. And I tell you, there's tough guys who are here to fight. Then there's Ryan Reeves. He's a tier above, right? He's the tough guy in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard not to think that having Reeves is going to change a lot of the crap that we saw last year from Florida and Gudis and Bennett specifically.
I think part of it too is we didn't just sign Reeves in this offseason. Like, they got Domi and Bertuzzi as well, and I think those two play 2 inches taller, knowing that Reeves is on the team too. So
true.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Dude, you know, one thing I noticed, just quickly, we're going to get into it, but all the new Leafs don't really have teeth except for Reeves.
Yeah.
Except for they can't be real. Like, he's got to have fake teeth in the Golf Classic, but like, everybody doesn't have teeth. I'm like, I mean, this has got to be a good thing, right?
Some guys fix their teeth. Like, Matthews lost teeth, right? But he got them fixed like the next day, right? And other guys embrace it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Domi and Klingberg. And,
I know.
Yeah.
Skevin Pold and Rocket.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Tyler Bertuzzi, what?
Yeah.
I didn't watch much hockey really growing up. Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. What?
A hockey player that's
weird.
in the league didn't watch hockey growing up? Yeah, so apparently that just kind of came out. I was listening to the interview. He was trying to see what's happening, and all of a sudden he says that, and I'm like, well, that's weird. That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I mean, like, it's one thing, I didn't watch much hockey growing up, so I was in like my, I don't know, probably grade 7, grade 8. Then I started really following hockey.
Yeah, but you're not playing for the Leafs right now.
But I never played. I've never played hockey, organized hockey, right? Like, I would play on the pond or like at a backyard rink at my friend's house. But I've never played where like a ref dropped the puck. Like, it was no man's land out there, slashing, hacking, fighting in the grass, like whatever. Like, you know, it was crazy. So
the good old days.
I thought every hockey player that was in the league probably would have watched it, but apparently not.
I was shocked. You didn't even watch a little bit just to like learn something, you know?
Really?
Like,
Well, he was asked who his favorite player was.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any answer to that because he didn't watch much hockey growing up.
Wow.
Like,
That is funny.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So, flipping over into what everybody came for tonight, with the first overall pick in the inaugural 2023 PWHL draft, Minnesota selects Taylor Heise. Yeah, Taylor Heise. She's a stud. Absolute stud. Yeah, because obviously I find these people, especially these women hockey players, like, I'm not going to lie, I haven't followed much women's hockey. It's not been available. I haven't went out of my way to look for it. I'm certainly interested now, and I really, really hope that with this Super League, that this is going to bring everybody together to paying attention to these girls, because they're a whole bunch of them. You see them play, watch some clips, hear their awards they're won. It's like, man, these girls are just as successful as the male counterparts. Like, if not, a lot of these girls could probably kill them in some of the superstar status that they will be able to earn once they're properly marketed, right? Like, I mean, let's just be honest, boys. Females kick our ass in that category. They're way better at marketing themselves, or they're way better at just organizing things, keeping themselves together. I mean,
no comment.
I rock the messy hairstyle for a reason. I get up, we just go, right? One gear, boys. So, anyways, Taylor Heise. She's a 23-year-old American women's ice hockey forward for the Minnesota Golden Gophers and a member of the United States women's national ice hockey team. She won the Patty Kazmaier Award in 2022, which is the award given to the top female college ice hockey player. Kind of like the Hobie Baker.
Yeah.
Right? The Patty Kazmaier. So she was named to the roster for the United States at the 2022 IIHF Women's World Championship. She led the tournament in scoring with 7 goals and 11 assists in 7 games. Holy crap.
Damn.
To help Team USA win a silver medal. That's all they got out of that. But she was subsequently named the best forward and tournament MVP. So that's the first overall pick for Minnesota.
Good pick.
That's going to be a good player. 23 years old, like right about to hit prime. Like we're going big. Minnesota wants to win.
Yes.
So the actual thing that we're interested in is the second overall pick.
Yeah,
Team Toronto.
Yes.
Team Toronto. So they selected Jocelyn Larocque, who is a Canadian ice hockey player and current independent member of the PWHPA, just drafted by Toronto. She previously played with the Calgary Inferno and the Markham Thunder of the Canadian Women's Hockey League, CWHL, which was a former women's hockey league that has not existed for a while. So she actually won in international play in the Olympic Games. She won a gold at 2014 Sochi, a gold at 2022 Sochi. She won the silver at 18 Pyeongchang. And in the World Championship, she's got 3 gold medals in 2012, 2021, and 2022.
Wow.
All right.
So she's a winner.
An experienced pick. You know?
Yeah, this is a winner.
Hmm.
She's definitely going to be a leader on the team. I mean, I think like with all that experience, all those gold medals, she's got to be somewhere up in that leadership group, right?
For sure.
And I don't think she's 23 if she was in the 2014 games. I'm just saying.
Right. And that's the experience I think CP was talking about there as well.
Exactly. Right. So I think it's going to be very good to have Jocelyn Larocque on Team Toronto.
For sure. Who else did they get?
They also snagged goaltender Kristen Campbell. I really wanted Toronto to get Kristen Campbell.
Sweet.
I'm really excited about that. I'm a goaltender guy a little bit. It's funny because you do puck doku. You ever play puck doku, CP?
I don't know.
You know what it
don't
is?
feel like I haven't tried because I feel like it's gonna just kick me. So
it's hard. I have to look it up. But I take it as a learning opportunity. You know.
Yeah, fair enough. I've seen some people play it, and just like some of the names that they come up with is crazy. I'm just like, who's that person? You know, like I don't know. So how does it work? It tells you the percentage of
how common of an answer it is, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
How rare
so 4% of people picked it, or 50% of people picked it, but like not everybody's gonna pick. You can't have you'll never get up to 100. So like the high 20s, 30s are crappy. Like if I can get under 20%, it's okay. If you get under 10%, I'm killing it.
Yeah,
you can
get
under
digit,
5. You're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You know, like
I just aim to fill out the chart. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that often.
That's the start, exactly. And so many games are like that. They bring up teams, and I'm just like, I can think of maybe one guy that played for one of those teams, let alone, So like Jordan said, look it up, and a bit of a learning opportunity. Fun game.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Kristen Campbell.
Yes.
Right.
So she was drafted. Goalies. Let me just finish the
you're
goalie
a goalie
thing.
guy.
Yeah, goalie guy. So I know all the goalies in puck doku. Easy. That's an easy category for me. Every time. Kill that.
There you go.
So Kristen Campbell, she is a goaltender for the PWHPA and a member of Canadian Women's National Ice Hockey Team. Now, I first recognized her just a couple years ago, and I had no idea who she was, and that's because I don't follow, right? But relatively, it looks like she wasn't playing. I have no idea her age. I didn't actually take that. That's great. Good prep, Jordan. Great work.
She's pretty young. I think she's 24, 25. She's actually rated as one of the soon-to-be breakout goalies in women's hockey.
She's got a gold medal at 2022 Beijing already, and 2 for the Olympic Games, and 2 gold medals in World Championships in 2021, 2022, back-to-back.
Yeah.
And then she went to silver this year in the World Championships.
Yeah.
So
pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Studly goaltender.
She was the starter
yes.
through all that as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Killer.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know through the whole thing, but she's definitely was a starter. I remember when she played in 2022, she was a starter for sure. Because I remember watching her then.
This was the first name on the list. Like, it's sad to admit this, but it was the first name that like really caught my attention, and because I think it was just so recent that she was Canada's goalie. But yeah, when I tried to look up as much as I could, it's crazy how limited information is actually out there. Like, hardly anyone writes about women's hockey. Like, you find an article and like, oh, it's like 2 years outdated, right? So I'm excited for all this to kick off.
Exactly, because I think that a lot of that's going to change, right? That's going to be a big thing we're going to see a lot more of. Exciting times.
It better. It absolutely better.
Yeah.
So a couple other picks, notable picks that Toronto got. They got Natalie Spooner.
Okay.
And she is not related to Ryan Spooner. But she was actually the first player to play for the Canadian national women's team, national women's under 22, and its under 18 team. The first woman to do that. So
awesome.
That's one of those like John Tavares types got exception. She's been dope since dope was dope. Like,
fuck yeah, that's great.
Anyways, so in 2014, Spooner became the first woman in hockey history to claim the gold medal in the Olympic Winter Games and the Clarkson Cup in the same year. Spooner's a fast and passionate hockey player who now has a high-performance hockey academy for girls as well. Oh, so not only is she a really good hockey player, she's a really good human too. We love that. We absolutely love that.
We love that. Yeah. I mean, doesn't get any better.
No. And then this one you're going to like, Ted. Jessie Comfer.
Hey.
Which is JT's sister. So that's pretty cool.
Former Av.
Yeah,
former Av JT.
Former Av JT.
Right.
But former Buffalo Sabre. Isn't that where he came from? From the Ryan O'Reilly trade?
Oh, is that where that was?
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They traded Ryan O'Reilly to the Sabres, and in return they got JT Comfer.
Wouldn't that be the St. Louis Blues?
No, because you don't remember Ryan O'Reilly played in Buffalo?
Yeah, we got him from the Blues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he was
He was drafted by the Avs,
by Colorado, and then went to the Blues.
He went to Buffalo. And
then
he hated his life.
Then he went to the Blues.
He hated his life in Buffalo,
Oh my God.
and then he ended up in the Blues. He got traded or he signed with the Blues, but then he stayed with the Blues. Captain, Cup, all that good stuff. But no, he was traded from the Avs to the Buffalo Sabres, and Buffalo Sabres had JT Comfer. They traded that, more picks, prospects, guys. I have no idea, but I know that's what happened. It was definitely JT Comfer for Ryan O'Reilly.
So his sister, following an outstanding season, she was named a Hockey East First Team All-Star, Second Team CJAI.CA Hockey All-American, and a Top 10 finalist for the Patty Kazmaier. So, she's going to be good too. Looks like the Toronto team is going to have a decent squad. I can't wait to actually watch them fall in love with some of these players and just come on here and just rant and rave, because then I'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Super excited. It better get televised. I haven't heard anything about where these games are going to be televised. I honestly don't even know where they're going to be played, but we should probably go to a game. Oh, that would be sweet.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely, we should go to a game, right?
Yeah.
Get the nosebleeds. I don't care. Let's go. Everybody can come with us. We'll film some stuff.
Let's go right on the glass, front row.
Mm-hmm.
So, one more note. On the 13th of April, 2020, Comfer was named team captain for her team, the Terriers. She's been a captain. And during the 2021 season, she led the team in scoring with 7 goals and 11 points in 8 games.
Nice. Wow.
Holy smokes.
That's
another
amazing.
one, right?
Yeah.
That's like the first overall pick, but in a different tournament. So following the season, she was named Hockey East Second Team All-Star. And on the 14th of April 2022, Comfer announced she was transferring to Wisconsin for her final year of NCAA eligibility. Now she's going to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting a contract. These girls are getting paid. We have no idea what they're getting paid, though. Did you guys know that they are not disclosing the salaries of the women?
Yeah, that makes sense for right now, I think. While that's kind of been an issue through places like Hockey Canada and and in other sports too is obviously a big thing. So obviously, if the women playing are happy with what's going on right now, hopefully they're in a good place with it. But then, yeah, as that becomes a more normal thing, and it gets covered more, yeah, I hope we do get to hear that, and it's big numbers. I hope it's big numbers.
Yeah, they put out a range, didn't they? Like they said it was like between, like I totally
That's
forget
okay
now.
then, as long as it's like that they're making a minimum of this, because
Yeah,
and the
there's definitely
minimum's
a
still
minimum put out
probably
there.
too low. It's just unfortunate, but that's why we got to go to games, right, boys? Butts and seats.
Yep.
Yeah,
We need
that's
butts
right.
and seats. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's just so true. No matter what league you're talking about, that's true.
Yeah, even if it's the no-show.
Yeah, even if it's the no-show, just or whale
Show,
shit
no
hockey,
show.
whatever it is, anything, or yeah.
God loves Shoresy. Have you watched Shoresy, CP?
No.
Okay, well that's your homework. You're gonna go
Dude, there's
home
a
and
new
you're gonna watch
season.
Shoresy.
New
There's
season
gonna
coming
be
out
a
the
new
29th.
season.
Yeah.
Oh,
29th.
Atlanta. Awesome. Okay, that's great. New Shoresy, the 29th of September.
September this month, like 8
that's
days
awesome.
from
When
right
we
now.
are going to the Kingston Frontenac's home opener. Ted and I
Yeah.
bought tickets. So we're heading
Nice.
to the home opener on the 29th, and we're totally going to rock out there and cheer on our Fronts and check out the kids, and hopefully we can meet some of them more this season, and maybe we'll have one on. See if we can meet the PR
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So with that, let's all take a break for a couple of minutes here.
Yeah.
We've been listening to Split the Defense Hockey Podcast live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram with Jordan Webster, Ted Evans, and Craig Pearce. We'll be right back in a few. And we're back.
We are back.
Hey.
Okay.
What are we talking about, boys?
CP was just asking me if I'm excited for this year with the Avs, and of course, yes.
Oh, man, the Avs are going to be a powerhouse.
Right?
Yeah.
Nathan
man.
Nathan McKinnon mentioned recently that just in the media day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he's most excited about Jonathan Drouin. He thinks that he just needed a change of scenery. He's a very talented player, and he expects him to break out.
Big time. I believe that. Anything Nate says, I believe. That man just speaks truth and fact.
And he's chickpea pasta, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I've heard
no
he's
sauce.
pretty strict with the team about what they eat.
Yeah, he took all the sugar out of the team facility, like banned pop for the team and stuff like that, and he replaced all the pasta with chickpea pasta, so that way you're getting protein when you're eating it. Just wild. What a man, eh?
Yeah,
But
honestly.
I
what
mean,
a guy.
he's one of the best. Like, you watch him play, he's absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I will always attest to that, for sure. Do you want the intro music, or do you want to just go right into Sammy? What do you want?
Oh, no, let's just keep rolling.
Yeah.
We're here on Split the Defense Hockey Podcast. I'm here with Ted and CP. I'm Jordan. We have a picture here of Samsonov's new mask.
Yes,
And it is sick. It is inspired by Cujo, we all thought. Anyways.
Right.
So you see that picture? Cujo's mask, his mask, the teeth.
Yeah.
Isn't that sick? So
That's a beaut.
here is what he said today to the media. He says, I'm going to actually speak with him because I'm going to understand what he's saying. I'm not going to break it up. He says,
Okay.
I was talking with Dave Art, who's doing masks for us, mostly guys in the NHL. And I said, oh, we'll do something maybe a little bit old school. So when the 26-year-old, Samsonov, debuted his mask, many people around the world thought it was a Curtis Joseph-inspired mask. And while that was partly that, there was another Toronto goaltender who Samsonov thought of when the vision came to life. When looking at Samsonov's new mask, you can definitely see hints of Joseph and Vesa Toskala.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The biggest
callback.
telling point is obviously the teeth around the actual mask, which both netminders had when they played for Toronto. Toskala's had more of a Grim Reaper look to it, while Joseph's had the look of the Cujo dog. And Samsonov's mask, well, it does have some similar elements to the two, is gone in its own direction. So why don't you throw that picture up again? That's a sick mask.
Right? It is so good.
I love when a player like leans into the heritage of a team. So this checks every box for me. It's sick. It's like has a little bit of the history of the Leafs. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love that he's paying homage. He said respect. He said he was talking to Cujo the other day, and Cujo said he loves the mask. So, you know, he knows he's getting the respect. But that's amazing. That's a beautiful mask. I love it when goaltenders go out and they paint their masks like crazy. He's definitely going to be in one of those articles that maybe that all right best masks in the league. Maybe we'll have to go through that when the season starts. See who's got the best masks going.
I'm into that.
Yeah, so that'll be sick. So the Leafs had media day, and there was a whole lot of whole lot of nothing,
whole lot of Nylander talk
until there was something. Yeah. So we'll graze over some points, and then we'll get into obviously the main story, which is Nylander. So why don't we play first Marner on the change of management?
Sure.
I mean, for us, I think, you know, you play for one another in that locker room. You play for everyone in that locker room. You play for everyone, you know, that's supporting our team. So if anything like that happens, you know, you sometimes feel that you could have done more or, you know, tried to do more. And, you know, but like I just said, I think our focus now is on here, who we have in this locker room.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Mitchie. He's so soft, eh? Like, I mean, not in a bad way, but like he's such a good-hearted.
He's like an empath.
Like, it's my fault. He got fired because of me.
Why does he have to take everything on his own shoulders? Like, it's crazy. Like,
everything.
Contrast him with Willie, and it's like
I know
there couldn't be more opposite people.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but they called him cool as a cucumber.
Right. Yeah.
When it came to his contract situation. But yeah, that's very true.
For a living.
Yeah, it could have been. But Willie is definitely built for this market. He has no highs and no lows. He could score like overtime game winner, game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs and win the cup, and he'd just be like,
right. I also feel like, I mean, Marner takes so much of the brunt because his game is like it's more of a feel game, right? And so like, and if you're not feeling it, then you're not going to be as good. And I don't know. I wish Marner would just not care.
You know, just shake it
go
off.
play like it's pond hockey. But
yeah, that's true. But he really does. He cares so much. It just breaks him up.
I do love the guy though.
Absolutely. I love Mitch Marner too. Like he's one of my favorite players, but it's I just had to note that it's terrible that he puts that on his own shoulders, right? Like it's so hard to it's so hard to listen to that again. Like, you know what it reminds me of? Remember the picture that went around forever when he iced the puck over the we put the puck over the glass in the playoff game? Yes. He's sitting in the box and they put the camera on the close up and just his face. It's like he was like crying. It's like, oh, Mitch. Like,
yeah. I feel like you could have probably taken a lot more of those photos. That's just the one that people use, but he does. You can just read it all over his face all the time.
Yeah, exactly. He rides the highs, and I feel for him because so do I. So I can't say much about that. Anyways, moving on. Jake Muzzin is out for the year. For sure. That's what Tree Living said. There's no Gabe Landeskog might come back with him. Jake Muzzin's probably done forever. He's on Robitaille Island now. And Matt Murray requires significant surgery, as per GM Brad Tree Living, and it will happen within the next week. Details will be disclosed at a further date due to Murray's privacy. It will be significant rehab. Have to see how he progresses to determine when and if he will play.
Jeez.
Sometimes it takes a long time to mend a broken heart, you know? I was thrown off by the whole it's personal comments of it. I was like, when has any injury have been like a personal thing? I understand taking personal leaves and things like that and like no comment, but because of the cap situation and how like it was just so convenient that this time that he's injured and no buyout, no anything else, and then now we don't get to know what the injury is. I was just like, why don't just tell it? Isn't it? He's had an ankle issue in the past. Like, is it an ankle? Why can't you tell that?
Maybe it's his head.
Oh yeah, concussion.
Maybe
or like,
it's
what
his
surgery
head.
are you having for a concussion? That would be.
Maybe that's what's keeping him out, because there's when Brad talks about it, he really seems to watch his words, and he did watch his words when he answered about Matt Murray in that conference. He said, but when he went to explain about it, he said that they asked him if it was the same thing that went last year, or like, was he fine? Because remember, he was supposed to be able to play in the playoffs if needed. That's what he said last year. I can play in the playoffs if needed. And he was asked, is this to do with the same injury, or did something happen? He said, well, he did something in the summer as well, something else that was already lingering. Now he needs surgery for. So maybe the thing that he needs surgery for, that now he's going to have to rehab, isn't even the thing that was keeping him out before, right? Because you don't know, like maybe he was playing on a some sort of, like, I'm not a doctor, but you got to think there's got to be some sort of injury that he could play through. And now that he's getting to be his 30s, he's not able to play through it anymore. He's now worn away that bone and he needs surgery or something like that.
Right.
And maybe before, it's not bad, and he was playing through it, and he probably could have played a few more years. But now he can get it fixed, right? And it's convenient, isn't it?
Convenient, yeah.
The timing is...
So,
oh, my God.
But I think my point is that I think that what he's getting surgery for now, and the thing that's going to keep him out for a while, isn't the same thing that he was out for last year when he left. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Like, that guy's had so many injuries, like in the past, since he left Pittsburgh, and so we had no idea what he has. I just think that it's kind of funny that it always seems to be some sort of a thing with Murray's injuries or whatever, right? Like, anyway.
Yeah,
for sure.
You sound like a Sens fan.
I know, it's funny. I'm complaining about them.
Vancouver Canucks fan.
Yeah,
what can you do about them?
Jeez. I know.
This guy.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Anyways, Bobby McMahon hurt his knee last year. He's a player I really like, and he is not cleared to fully participate in training camp yet. So he will not be back for a little while. I can't remember what he did, but he had 27 goals and 10 assists or something like that in 37 games. It was stupid. Like,
wow.
21 goals and 29 points is what it was in 30 contests. 21 goals in 30 games. Guy can put the puck in the net, and he just goes north-south, north-south. He's no dipsy doodle. He's like, get the puck and go. One gear.
That's how we played Shell.
Yeah, exactly. Get the puck, go.
Yeah.
Headman.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I hope that he comes back, because I was really hoping he'd make the team this year. But that's just starting to wean out guys who aren't going to be around. Obviously, Jake was an obvious one. Matt was announced earlier. But now Bobby ain't going to be here either. So Tree Living announced that there was 3 groups in camp now. If anybody is used to watching Leafs training camp, there's usually 2, right? And this year there's 3. They've brought in a lot more people for this whole training camp, and they have one group that is specifically for developmental players. So they have guys who are just like 18, 19, 20 who really quite haven't made it there. Then they have another 2 groups who is a split between guys who you're going to think might make it, right? Who are trying out for the team. And as guys play on the developmental squad, because I'm sure they have practices, they're going to have inter-squad things, guys will be shifted from that developmental squad and be brought up. Because Tree Living himself said today he wants to see what he's got in the youth that he's got there. He said a lot of these kids are very talented. He said I think I've got a lot of good pros down there that maybe just haven't gotten a chance yet. So
Nice.
We're gonna see some kids, I think.
I like that.
I don't see many spots on the roster that, like, you know, they could go. Like, but yeah, I mean, I think Bobby McMahon probably, once he's back, like there's a fourth line spot for that guy, I think. But
Now you're pretending like injuries don't happen.
that's true. Yep.
Yeah, the Leafs are going to be injured all season. Like, that's just usually what happens. Like, there's going to be guys missing like all the time. One guy, and you're just going to have like these Redeem Zahorna in there. Remember that guy that played like a couple of games last year? Came from Calgary, this big lug of a guy. I liked him. I thought he was fantastic, but he didn't stick. 2 games, whatever. My point is, I think there's going to be a lot of those guys that are getting shots, but I don't know if they're going to be 30 anymore. I think they might be taking more kids onto the Marlies. But kids that can, because again, something that I'll get into here, hopefully, if we have time, is that you have to have 4 years of service in the OHL or be 20 years old to be able to play in the NHL or to play in the AHL instead of the just the NHL. Because if you're a rookie or you're a kid and you don't make the NHL team after you're drafted, then you can't play for the AHL team unless you have 4 years of service in your CHL league. So that's the WHL, the OHL, or the QMJHL. Right?
Right.
So a lot of these kids are just going to have to, not by choice, go back to their junior teams and play, which is good for us because we'll get to watch them come through Kingston and stuff this year. It's going to be fantastic. Hopefully a bunch of them play in the
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Let's hope. So Tree Living today said he thinks Toronto's defensive corps is underrated.
Underrated.
What do you think of that, CP?
I mean, I think there's just like a couple wild cards, you know, like Klingberg. If we get Klingberg from a couple years ago, then yeah, I think that it is underrated. But it's hard for me to see that being the case. I just hope he can be in the middle somewhere, you know. But yeah, and also like the Geo is getting a bit older, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's too bad until you get to the trade deadline.
We just need a Kawhi treatment, Geo. Just load manage the crap out of that guy all season. He'll be nice and fresh for the playoffs. Just because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Geo's good. Like, he's a really, really good player, but you could see near the end of the year he was done. Like, he was done. He'd had his time.
Yeah.
But underrated. Like, I think they're probably appropriately rated. Like, everybody thinks like it used to be a clear narrative that the Leafs defense was very lacking, and it was. The Leafs defense was very lacking for a long time, but not this year. I can't say this year that they're lacking, and I don't think very many people are creating that narrative. So when Tree Living says he thinks the defense corps is underrated, it's just funny. I don't think it's true.
Does that mean that they're like really good? Because like.
He's probably just saying maybe he has a better idea of it than what maybe people are portraying out there in the media or assuming is going to happen or hoping doesn't happen. But he's going, no, guys, they're underrated. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember when Riley got injured last year, and there was moments when Gio was on the second pair, Paul was on the second pair. I think Liljegren was on the top pair, or maybe it was Sandin.
Injuries happen.
Oh man, it was rough for a while, and they actually played really well.
I actually remember they had a really good stretch too. Yeah, Sandin and Liljegren together on the second pair, they were great. I remember that.
There was some people saying they didn't need Riley back, which was laughable.
I was thinking like, can we do a Brent Burns thing and like flip that around and Riley can just play left wing because we really needed a left winger, right?
yeah, that's true. He could probably play left wing. It's harder to play defense, I think, than left wing. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would be. He'd be just two-way forward. Mm-hmm. Go get him, killer.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think that's in the cards though.
No. You know what is in the cards? You know what's crazy? The thing that you wanted to talk about at the beginning that we finally gotten to 50 minutes into the episode? William Nylander is to start at center in training camp. Now, I actually wrote an article about this afternoon, which will drop tomorrow on www.insidetherink.com. You go into the NHL section, you look for the Leafs, and I will be right there. It is going to be interesting, to say the least, to see how this turns out. How do you feel about it, Teddy? Have you seen this show before? Yeah.
What?
Have you seen him play? Have you seen Willie play center before?
No.
No. That's because it's happened like what, CP, like 3 times, and like it happens for like a game, and then they pull him back. Oh, that
in the
didn't
playoffs,
work. And in the playoffs and stuff. Like, why are you just galaxy brain?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's like two-folded. There's like I think the contract is part of this, where if Willie ends up that he can play second line center and he's good at it and he can still provide the points that he has been at wing, then you can like justify the $10 million contract. But if you can't do that, then you can go to him and say, well, hey, like Matthews gets paid that because he's a center. He's a two-way player, and I don't think he's can say that he's at Marner level. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of like there's a bit of mind games going on here. And if he ends up that he can do it, then perfect. You have a second line center that can fill in for JT. JT looks a lot better on the third line.
Or as a winger.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine though?
Why wouldn't we just switch like Willie and JT's responsibilities at 5-on-5, but face-offs line up the same?
I think that if you have JT playing against other teams' third lines, then his contract looks better on these last couple years.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy if this works out, because then you're going to have all the media going off about how the Leafs have the best third line in the league with John Tavares on there. And then there's going to be, can we afford to pay a third line center $11 million?
Oh, God. Yeah, that's fair. But
and then what? William Nylander gets a contract next year, and it does all work out, and William Nylander gets paid because he's a center now. He's getting paid 10.5 easy. Right?
Yeah.
So now you've got 3 guys making over 10 up the center.
Right. I mean, Sebastian Aho just signed like 9.75.
Sure, I'd take that.
Right. Yeah, I'd take that too.
Yeah, it's not 10.
Yeah.
I think it lands there. We're all talking about it like, oh, he wants over 10 and they want 8.5. Like,
well, that's how they because we all know where it's supposed to be, right? They're always going to meet in the middle. It's funny how that always works. We want 10. No, we want 8. Okay, and they settle on 9.
Exactly.
Right. So they'll meet in the middle on it. But who do you think would be best suited on the Leafs that you know? I'd like to ask both of you this. Of the Leafs that we know are going to play this year, who do you think's best suited to be on the wings for William Nylander? Why don't you go first, CP?
I kind of like what they started with. Like today they were rolling with Nylander, Domi, and Järnkrok.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not bad. I guess it looks better as a third line, but like Järnkrok to me is a bit of a, does he belong in the top 6? Is he more of a third line scorer? But
he plays well with
I
Matthews.
like having. Pardon?
He played well with Matthews and Marner.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything when it came to the playoffs. Like they put him there, and he was a bit of a anchor.
Yeah, you're right. He did nothing in the playoffs, but he did score 20 goals in the season, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
What about you, Ted?
Who were your two again? Järnkrok
and Domi as a third line. Yeah.
As a third line.
Yeah.
And we're saying wingers for Willie?
Yeah, if you just got to pick.
I'd like to see Nyes play on the wing with Willie.
Okay.
For sure. Because I like Matthew Nyes, giving him chances playing with guys like, guys up there in the top 6. That's what I want to see that. And then, I was either going to say Domi, but I'll say Bertuzzi. Because why not? Willie and Bertuzzi. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Why?
It's like you read my article.
I
I made a case for that this afternoon.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
For Bertuzzi?
For Bertuzzi and Nyes, those exact players.
Nice.
So
Really? Okay.
It drops at 7 a.m. So I mean, y'all, I guess whoever listens to this, just go click on the link. Just click it, open it, please. It helps. If you don't know you heard the story, like just do it, please. So I think that they're best suited for him because William Nylander is a passer and a scorer, right? He does both very, very well. He's also very fast. He streaks up the ice, right? But he needs a player who can go with him. Think Caulfield and Suzuki, how they just go up together all the time on 2-on-1s and break up the ice like that, right? There's a whole bunch of other duos that I'm sure are out there that I can't think of right now, but that one scores on us a lot. So if they can be like that and break pucks back and go up, those guys could wheel. And Tyler Bertuzzi, he ain't no slag either. He can pass the puck. He can pass the puck to Willie. Willie can snipe it in. Willie can also make a nice feed back and snipe it in from Bertuzzi, right? So both of those guys are good. Bertuzzi goes right into the net, right into the corners. Willie kind of sticks back a little bit. Willie can. Like, he's tough. He's a brick wall, right? He's a big, strong boy. But he doesn't play that way. That's just not his game. So Bertuzzi being in front of the net, being a little grittier, but having all those same abilities, I think would be great to have another Willie on that line. It's like, kind of Willie 2.0. And then you have Nyes on the other side. And what I wrote was, now, Matthew Nyes does everything that your uncle is upset that William Nylander doesn't do.
I mean, I think they both do. Yeah, Bertuzzi and Nyes.
Yeah, I don't know how much Bertuzzi does this as much as guys. This is so noticeable. Like, I watched Bertuzzi play very closely. I had him in fantasy for a couple of years ago, and that was the year he popped off. And I remember watching Detroit. Actually, no, I watched it so much. I remember watching because the COVID year. We didn't get to see him because he never got to come to Canada, right?
That's
right.
So
we never saw him that. And then there was the year after where he couldn't play. So as soon as I could see him, I wanted to see him. And what I noticed was he's very creative. He skates really well. He's makes really good passes, and he doesn't just dump and chase. And he keeps his head up and looks around, and he's not afraid to get laid the heck out, right? Like, so
that's right.
I think that he doesn't play necessarily the game that Nyes does. Nyes literally goes up and grinds in the corner and puts the elbow right to you. Like, he just takes him in, just uses his butt, just get right in there, just on the forecheck, gets that puck back, wins the puck battle against these guys. And this guy's like, I'm freaking 26-year-old, and I'm getting muscled around by a 21-year-old kid who's had 3 NHL games. Like, what is going on? He's a big, tough guy, and I noticed that for his first few games with the Leafs last year. When he goes into the corner with 2 guys, he comes out with the puck almost every time. And the only other player on the team that I can see that does that is Austin Matthews. Every time he goes into the corner, who used to do that a lot? Zach Hyman. He's a bulldog. Remember how Zach Hyman forechecked? That's what Matthew Nyes does. He only got a couple of games of it last year we got to watch, but that's what he does. He goes in and he just bangs and he gets in the elbow.
I can't believe it's just you bringing up Hyman there. It's just I can't believe that they got rid of him or they didn't re-sign him.
I know.
But yeah, if Nyes could be anything close to Hyman, that'd be amazing.
That is amazing. So I have more stuff here in the lineup, but we're almost out of time, so I'm just going to drop one more piece of news that will be outdated if I don't say it now. The NHL is playing in Australia. Did you guys know that?
I didn't know that.
They're playing a game. The Kings and the Coyotes will face off in 2 preseason games at Rod Laver Arena in the 2023 NHL Global Series in Melbourne on September 23rd and 24th. The games will be broadcast on NHL Network and ESPN+. So if you want to check that out, men playing over down under. In the United States, they will be broadcast on those. In Canada, it'll be on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus. So perfect. Got that. You can watch that right at home on my TV.
I'd love to hear Aussie hockey lingo. It's probably even crazier than ours.
Yeah, the announcers. That's what I want. I want
Yeah.
Aussie
Oh,
announcers.
Oh, they're going to have Aussie announcers, aren't
Oh,
they? No,
yeah, I hope
Sportsnet.
so.
No, probably
Well,
not,
they'll
'cause
have
the
sports.
Aussie announcer will
But I
have
bet you
for
can tune
there.
into it somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe somewhere.
No, maybe on one of those illegal streams that'll give you a virus. But
Worth it.
maybe.
So worth it.
Anyways, the Arizona Coyotes, they're sending a squad down there that actually looks decent. You have players now on Arizona Coyotes: Logan Cooley, Lawson Krause, Dylan Genther, Barrett Hayton, Alex Kerfoot, Clayton Keller, Matthias Michelli, Jack McBain, Liam O'Brien, Nick Schmaltz, and Jason Zucker. Those are all decent players. Arizona might be a good team.
Wow. They'll probably enjoy playing in like a nice arena too down there.
Oh!
One day.
And with that, we are done with the show today. So thanks everybody for tuning in and watching this episode of Split the Defense. Roll the music, Ted. Thanks, CP, for joining us. We'll definitely have to get you back on here soon and chat again.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, guys.
See you later.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense.
Jordan Webster and Ted Evans talk about the NHL and all things hockey.
Split the Defense.
Is broadcasted on Amherst Island Radio, 101.3 FM, and online at CJAI.CA.